So what is a calorie? Well, basically in simple terms, a calorie is just a measurement of energy. So that's all that I have for you guys today. Thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Just go comment down below, ring the bell button, and I'm completely joking. Calories are a lot more complex than that, and how many calories you should be eating is a lot harder to find out than just calories or energy. So most people don't really think of calories as energy, or they do, but not in the right way. And that's why I like to compare it to something like kilojoules, which is an actual measurement of energy that is used in cars, etc. And it's more of a better known measurement of energy, and you're probably more familiar with it. And if you hear joule, you're like, oh yeah, that's not the vape, but that's a measurement of energy. Whereas if you hear calorie, you're like, ah, food. So by the end of this video, I want you guys to be looking at your food and your little can of beans or whatever, and not thinking like, oh, that's just a can of beans for me to eat. I want you to be looking at it and being like, that is 330 calories worth of food or worth of energy. And so basically what happens when you eat too many calories or too little calories. Now, as a physics student, it's quite simple. It's just the basic laws of thermodynamics. So you eat too much, you give your body too much energy, it's going to store that as fat. And so fat, like this here, this little bit of fat, that is basically just stored energy. Because when you give your body too much, it just stores it as energy within the body itself. Now, if you give the body too little, it's going to have to use up that stored energy wherever you've got it. Me, mostly around my stomach area and around here where you can't see. But it's going to use that up, and then that is going to disappear because your body's having to use energy that it's stored over time. So why is this important to us in bodybuilding and dieting in general? Well, that is because we can directly convert the, calories to what a pound of fat is in calories. So a pound of fat is around 3,500 calories. So that means that in order to lose 1 pound of fat, you will have to burn 3,500 calories or be in a 3,500 caloric deficit over an extended period of time. So say if you want to lose a pound of fat in a week, you'd have to, lower your calorie intake by a certain amount, and then at the end of the week, if you lowered it enough to hit 3,500, you should theoretically have lost 1 pound of fat. So, what you need to know to do this. So, first off, you need to figure out what your basal metabolic rate is, or more importantly, your caloric expenditure throughout the day. Now, one of my favorite ways to do this is to use an app like MyFitnessPal, which I think is pretty accurate. So you just download that on your phone. Go do that now. MyFitnessPal, if you sponsor me, just hit me up. Love your app. It's great, calorie counting and everything. So just go download that app. It'll ask you first thing as you download it. So what is your weight? What is your height? And all of these other questions. What's your daily activity looking like? And you just type that all in, and it'll give you a rough estimate of what you should be eating to maintain your body weight. And then the even better thing, and why I like MyFitnessPal so much, is you can add goals. Like, I want to add a pound a week, or I want to drop a pound a week, and it'll do the math of 3,500 for you. So you don't even have to worry about the math side of things. If you download this app, it'll just take that all away for you. And then it'll be like, well, this is your daily metabolic, what you need to be eating to maintain your weight. And if you want to lose this amount of weight, then you're going to have to be eating this much. So the main takeaway point here is that calories are not just calories, they're energy, and is the energy of the body. So if you give the body too much energy, it's going to store it as fat. If you give the body too little energy, it's gonna get rid of fat. So just simple thermodynamics, and I actually have an experiment that I've set up just so that I can get the point across even more. So let's just get into the experiment. Alright, so this is the experiment so far. And so here we have a human being, which I'm going to name Bob, and I want you guys to think of the water inside of him as energy or calories. Now this water bottle is going to represent food intake or more calories in the form of food that Bob eats. Now, as you can see, I've put a little hole in Bob to represent his caloric daily intake. And so Bob's getting a little hungry right now. So if we just feed Bob a little bit more, there we go. That's probably about where Bob is happy. And he's not too fat, he's not too skinny, and he's eating just the right amount. But as soon as we stop feeding him enough, well, he's going to start losing all of that energy, and essentially he's going to lose weight. But what happens if we give Bob too much energy, or too many calories, or too much food? Well, his metabolism, or his daily expenditure of energy, isn't going to be able to keep up with it. And he is essentially going to gain weight, and the energy level is going to be much higher than when we started. And that excess energy that I've just given Bob through the form of food is now going to be stored as fat. Now, if you see Bob doesn't eat anything for quite a while, the fat level will go down, but in humans this is a much slower process. Obviously, it takes more than a couple of minutes, and this has just been a quick demonstration, so I hope that cleared some things up for you guys. So there we go. We had a nice little quick story about Bob and Bob's caloric intake, although I did make his basal metabolic rate a little bit too fast because I made the hole in the bottle just a tad bit too big and didn't have enough blue tack to make it smaller. So my bathroom's in quite the state now since of all the water leakage. But hopefully that has given you an idea of what calories in, calories out really means. It's just energy going into your body and going out of your body and how it gets stored. So like Bob, for example, if he had too much energy through food, then, well, the energy level went up. And in humans, that would be stored as fat. Whereas if he didn't eat enough, then his energy would go down, and he would essentially lose fat in humans. Now, I'm not saying that for future videos, I'm going to recommend that you go on these like tough sort of bodybuilder broccoli and rice diets, because that's just stupid, and it's, for most people, just not doable. So that's not what I'm recommending here. What I'm recommending is you just be calorie conscious, and you know what your basal metabolic rate is, or your daily calorie expenditure, and you keep that in mind when you're eating food. And just take a quick tally. Just be like, oh, okay, so I had this for breakfast. I had a little sachet of like oatmeal or whatever, that was 200 calories. And really, you can just add it up in your head. Like, it's not that hard. Or go to restaurants that count calories for you so that you don't even have to do the hard work. Like, if you're eating out, there's a few places around me that I like to go to that count the calories, and I'll order meals from there, and it just makes life a lot easier. So I'm just telling you guys, be calorie conscious. I do have my burgers every now and again, even when I'm on a cut. In fact, when I was on a cut, most of my calories came from burgers, because there's this nice place that is nearby to me, and I'll just order from them every now and again. They count calories, so I was calorie conscious. I knew how many calories I was intaking, and I can make up for that in other ways. So it's like, well, I'm gonna have this burger, so instead of something else that I'd eat, well, I'll eat a burger instead and I'll enjoy my burger. But overall, I'm still in a caloric deficit. So it's just simple thermodynamics. If you're not eating enough calories to maintain your body weight, then your body weight's going to go down. If you're eating too many calories or having too much energy for your body to get rid of, then your body weight's going to go up. So yeah, just be more calorie conscious. Start counting your calories so that you know whereabouts you're lying on the caloric intake scale and on your basal metabolic rate, your daily calorie expenditure. And once again, this isn't a perfect science. From day to day, your activity is going to vary. You'll probably do more sports on one day than the other day, but this is for the long run. So what really matters, more importantly than just one day of counting calories, is a whole month of counting calories. Like, your monthly calorie intake is going to be more important than your daily calorie intake. So say you have one cheat meal and you eat 1,000 calories over what you're supposed to be eating. Well, if for the next 5 days you eat 200 calories less than what your diet plan suggests, you've just made up for it. So once again, it is for the long run. So just be calorie conscious, count your calories, know what you're putting into your body, and that's about all there is. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you'll be more calorie conscious now, and you'll be able to actually count your calories and go about it in a way where you don't actually have to go on one of these starvation diets. Because, well, quick anecdote from me, before I started counting calories, I went on this mad diet where I was eating basically nothing but broccoli and just salads, and I'd basically eat salads like 5 or 6 or 7 times a day, and I ate a shitload of salad, but I wasn't losing weight because I'm a hungry person. I like to eat, and I like to eat a lot. So I just ate down all these salads thinking like, oh yeah, I'm healthy as heck. Like, I'm so healthy right now. I must be losing so much weight. But in the end, I was actually gaining weight because I just stuffed down so much of this healthy food that I was in a caloric surplus. Like, that's just how it works. It's not about what you eat. Like, obviously, if you want to be healthy, then go for the salads. But if you want to lose weight, then you can still eat your peanut butter or whatever, or your chocolate bars. Just make sure that you count them into your calories. So, yeah, that's all for today, guys. Please drop a comment down below to make suggestions for my next video. Once again, as I said in the last one, I'm open to all suggestions, and any suggestions, if you're currently going through a cutting phase and you'd like help on your cut, then I can more than give you advice on that. Or if you're currently bulking like I am and you just want another video on how to bulk, then I will shoot that out. So yeah, leave a like, subscribe, ring the bell button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.